So I'm gradually getting round to ticking off all of the big surf guitar classics from my list, and this one's been a bit of a glaring omission for a while from my surf guitar lesson library, so I thought I'd put that right today. I'm looking at the track Mr. Moto by the Bel Airs. It's an all-time surf classic, one of my favourite surf tunes. I think I'm going to begin by playing it through for you, and then I will discuss what's going on. So there we are. This track does in fact contain quite a famous piano break in the middle of it, and I just played a guitar solo in that section, so I hope that's all right with everybody. And this one is from the early 60s, 1961 I believe, and I don't actually know that much about the Bel Airs. I guess they were just another one of these surf rock bands. There were so many of them around in this period. Many of them just put out one or two singles and then disappeared, but I think this track has definitely stood the test of time. This one's lots of fun to play. In terms of difficulty, I think it's about right. There's enough in there to challenge the average player a little bit, but there's nothing overwhelmingly difficult or technical, so I hope that you're going to have some fun learning to play this one. Let's get started. I'll break down what's going on. We're in the key of D minor for the most part with this tune, though there is a little modulation in the piano solo bit where I played the guitar solo. I'll discuss that when we get to it, but let's begin with this beautiful introduction. So this has got a lovely kind of Spanish flamenco-y flavour, which is something you find quite a lot with surf guitar music. We're beginning with this chord shape here, and the easiest way to think about this is it's just an A chord, but we're moving our fingers up one fret. What that gives us is a B flat triad, but we've still got these open strings in there. So we've got that open fifth string, this A note in the bass. So it's a B flat with an A in the bass, or B flat over A. You've got instant kind of Spanish flavour when you hear that chord. Strumming that 4 times, and then we've got A sus4 to A. So A sus4, you just take your A chord and then play the 3rd fret on the 2nd string instead of the 2nd fret. And then we're unsussing that chord, just playing a regular A. And then that sets us up for the 1 chord, our D minor, and we're just kind of playing around on that chord. So I'm just playing a D power chord here, open 2 and 3, and occasionally I'm just playing the 3rd fret on the 3rd string, and then we've got this little single note riff. So open 4th string and 2nd fret on the 3rd string. It's got a very characteristic surf flavour. You hear that kind of idea in so many surf tunes. Pipeline is one example that springs to mind. Then we're into the main theme, the melody, and before we get into that, I just want to discuss the chords that we're playing over. This is something that I think is super important. Before you jump right in and learn the kind of the cool bit, the melody, actually understand the chords that you're playing over. Then not only have you got a rhythm guitar part, but you can understand why the melody is constructed in the way it's constructed. So the chords we're playing over here, we've got starting on the 1 chord D minor, 2 bars of that. Then we've got a B flat major chord. You could play that as a 5th string root bar chord. That chord belongs to the key. It's the flat 6 chord in the key. And then we've got A major. This is the 5 chord. It's the 5 major chord order, or the 5 dominant chord. Again, something you hear all the time in surf rock tunes. You're in a minor key, but you've got that major or dominant 5 chord, which really pulls your ear strongly back to the 1 chord. So those are the chords we're playing over for the first section of the tune. The melody we're playing over that goes like this. Really beautiful melody. All of those notes are taken from the key, and really most of them are from the D minor pentatonic or D blues scale. So it might be worth just learning that scale down at this end of the neck, just so you've got a reference point. I'm sure most of you know the D minor pentatonic. If you play it up here in kind of pattern 1 off of a 10th fret root note, but maybe playing it down here is a little bit more unfamiliar. So let me just show you how that works. We've got a D root note here, open 4th string, then we can play 3rd fret, then over onto the next string, open 2, and then onto the 2nd string we've got 1 3 and then 1 3 on top. And if you like, you can descend below the root, 3 open, 3 1. So it's worth learning that as a kind of scale shape separate from your kind of standard pentatonic boxes. Then when you are in the key of D minor, you've got those options down in the open position. You can use those open strings. Another worthwhile thing to do is to just add in the flat 5 and turn it into the blues scale. So we could do this. There's the flat 5 and the same note up here, maybe here as well. So it's that A flat that I'm including there. And that melody is all played in and around those scale shapes. So we're beginning with the root note, just climbing up the scale. Got a little hammer on from the flat 5th into the 5th, and then coming down the scale again. That's all played over the D minor. Then we're going to this B flat chord, and the melody, we're hitting that root note. This isn't in the minor pentatonic scale, this B flat, but it's in the chords that we're playing over. So we're hitting a chord tone here, and then we're emphasizing that flat 5th once again, and then we're just going back and forth between the open 3rd string and the 3rd fret on the 4th string. And next we've got, this is just E, G, E, A, and then I really like this bit here. We've got a lovely bend at the 4th fret on the low E string, and then A, C, F, down to E, and then we're back home again. You can just play around on that D minor chord in the little break before the melody repeats. So just put all of that together slowly. We've got and it just repeats. Next we've got a little bridge section. The chords we're playing over here are C going to F. So I'm hearing that as a little modulation to the relative major key center. So if you're in the key of D minor, the relative major key is F major, and this, to me, it sounds like the 5 of F going to the 1 of F, and you've got more of a kind of happy major melody played over the top of that. So I'm playing this in the 5th position here, so you might like to think about your F major scale in this position. The actual melody goes like this. A nice scale-based melody here. So starting on C, this is the root note of the chord that we're playing over. So climbing up the scale. A little kind of chromatic passing note here. We've got this E flat or D sharp. And climbing up the scale again. And then so rather than me describing every note here, I'll just play it slowly and hopefully you'll be able to pick it up from the video. So then we're hitting the F chord, and would you believe it, we've got a beautiful triad shape. Another great example of triads out in the wild. This is just an F major triad in the second inversion. So we've got C, F and A, and we're just arpeggiating that triad shape. Repeating the melody. And then the second time around, we're actually dropping that triad shape down 1 fret to E, which is setting up the solo section really nicely. We're now modulating to the key of A minor. So E is functioning as the 5 chord, or the dominant chord, pulling our ear towards A minor, which is where we're going to be for the solo. And for those of you who are interested, I will just take you through what I'm doing in my solo briefly. And I did try and stick fairly closely to the melody, which is what the piano does on the original recording. And it's a nice set of chords to solo over. You could put these chords into a looper and just experiment with some soloing ideas of your own if you like. So the chords that we're playing over here: A minor to F, E, back to A minor. So it's the same chords as the main theme, the main melody, but we've moved them to a new key, but they're functioning in the same kind of way. So we've got the new 1 chord, and then this flat 6 major, and then the 5 major chord. So you're soloing over these chords. You could play your key center stuff: A minor pentatonic, A blues, A natural minor scale, maybe a bit of harmonic minor over that dominant chord, or you could kind of stick to the melody of the tune and kind of follow the melody using chord tones. So I'm kind of doing a combination of those things. So I'm starting with some double stops played on the top pair of strings. These are just major and minor thirds. So starting with a minor third here, this is A and C, moving that shape up 2 frets, and then 13 and 12. And then over the F chord. So the same starting point, just this double stop shape, but then I'm adding in the 10 on the top string and 11. This note in particular I like, it's giving you that F7 kind of flavour. And following the melody using triad shapes really, so I'm going from F to an E triad, and then I think I wrapped up this section with kind of an A minor scale idea. Something like that. You can let the open strings ring a little bit as well. Then I went round one more time. So 6 this time. So 10 on the D and 10 on the B. Moving those shapes around. And then over the F. And then following the chords with triads once again. This is an E triad, 13, 12 and 12. And then just over that E chord, just playing the A minor. Yeah, that's really the A harmonic minor scale, or E Phrygian dominant if you want to be super precise here. You don't need to worry about it too much, but those notes really describe the chords nicely at that point. It's that 5 going back to the 1 chord. And what happens next? I think after the solo section there's a little bit of a breakdown. We return to the original key of D minor, and we've got some more of this kind of thing. And that sets up the final verse, just going around that melody. I think played exactly the same as before. There's a bridge section, and then there's a little ending after the second bridge, and we're returning to this Spanish-y bit, and then there's just a final lick which goes like this, and that's just coming straight down our D minor pentatonic scale. As far as this C note, then we're going back to the root and strumming the D minor chord to finish. Let's take a quick look at the gear that I'm using today. No surprises, I'm just using what I usually use when I'm going for these classic surf sounds. So Jazzmaster into my Surfy Bear reverb unit, touch of overdrive from the Archer pedal, and that's all going into my Fender Princeton. Decided to use the bridge pickup today. I wanted quite a bright sound, and that all sounds like this. Well, that's it for today's video. I have put together a playlist containing all of my previous surf guitar lessons, so check that out if you're interested. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.